All right, so I'm sure you've noticed a banner on Facebook during the last couple weeks warning about the GDPR regulation going into effect. I've been getting an influx of messages from Shopify owners wanting to know what this means for us. Can we still sell in Europe? Will we go to jail if we don't comply with it? So today I want to cover exactly what it means and exactly what I'm doing to protect myself and what you guys can do to protect yourselves. So let's get into it. Alright guys, what's going on? I'm Braden Wuerch. If this is your first time to my channel, make sure to hit subscribe. Continue to over-deliver insane value to you guys every day to grow you personally and financially as well. Alright guys, so this is actually somewhat of a serious topic, and if you have a Shopify dropshipping store, you absolutely need to know how to protect yourself with the GDPR regulation going into effect. I've been seeing all over Facebook, been getting a lot of messages of essentially people, one, being clueless on what it is, and two, freaking out thinking that they're actually going to go to prison if they don't comply. This is serious because if you don't comply with this, and I don't see very many people talking about this, if you don't comply with this, you can be fined up to 4% of your annual revenue or no less than $5,000. So this could potentially be a lot of money if you don't comply with this. And there's a few simple things you need to do. But before we get into this, I want to go ahead and preface this that I'm not a lawyer. This would be best for you guys to go ahead and talk to an actual lawyer, but I'm going to be telling you guys what I'm doing currently to go ahead and make sure I'm GDPR compliant. So what is GDPR? GDPR is General Data Protection Regulation. This affects any country in the EU. But even if you're an American company, if you're Canadian, if you're in Britain, if you're in Thailand, it does not matter if you're selling any products to any customer in the EU, in Europe, this directly affects you. You need to be compliant. In layman's terms, what it is it's a new regulation that's going into effect that any website, e-commerce store, advertiser that's gathering any customer individual data, this is going into effect to protect that individual's data. It's getting really strict on what advertisers can do, what e-commerce stores can do with someone's data. So the good news first is Shopify as a platform is already working on becoming GDPR compliant. So this means the platform itself is going to be protected. But then two, what I'm hoping for and what I'm going to be checking on is that the terms and service and the privacy presets, when you go into your settings, that it will now have the GDPR lingo in the presets. I'll be checking on this over the next couple weeks to make sure that gets put in. But for what I'm doing right now and what I suggest you guys do is in your terms of service, make your terms of service on your home page and in the footer, so any customer, no matter what page they can get on, I'm going to be putting in essentially GDPR lingo. I'm going to be going ahead and saying that we may use the customer's data to go ahead and give to third-party merchants and suppliers. Basically, with GDPR, you need to be upfront. You don't need to be hiding anything. The good news for us as dropshippers, since we don't want to go ahead and just blatantly say that we're dropshipping from China, this is in the terms of service. Very few people are actually going to go ahead and read this, but it will make you GDPR compliant if you go ahead and you have it in the terms of service, along with a few other things which we're going to cover. So in your terms of service, make sure to go ahead and put that you may use the customer's data, like their address, their name, to go ahead and use that to ship with a third-party manufacturer or supplier. So number two, don't gather any information you don't need. So whenever a customer goes to checkout, unless you've gone ahead and unchecked it in your settings, they can potentially add their one phone number into their company that they work for. If you really think about it, this is information you don't really need unless you're running some weird campaigns through text or something like that. You don't really need the customer's phone number. You'll be using your phone number when you go ahead and put the order in on AliExpress, and then you definitely don't need the customer's company. every bit of information that you get from the customer is putting you in more and more of a hot seat with the GDPR regulations. So you need to go ahead and limit the amount of information you get. Just get what you need. If you absolutely need it, then obviously you need it, go ahead and get it. But what I'm doing is I'm turning off phone number, and I'm turning off the company boxes to where they don't go ahead and enter that. Number 2 with this is I don't go ahead and actually have it to where it auto checks boxes. So how to auto check sign up for the newsletter, even though that's great because I want them on the email list. A lot of times they'll go ahead and check it anyway. This is something part of the GDPR compliance, is that you don't go ahead and mislead customers in any way. So any pre-check boxes, pre-tick boxes, I'm removing them from my store from being pre-checked. I'll still have the box to where they can sign up for the newsletter or any other pre-ticked boxes, but I'm removing the fact that it will now automatically be pre-checked. Number 3, this one's very important, and I've come up with a very cool solution. So you need to make sure that you have directly on the site when the customer lands on it that you guys use cookies on your site. And so what you'll want to do in an easy way to do this is there's a free app out there called the EU Cookie Bar. If you go ahead and get this, it's a free app, and it automatically puts this on your store, so you don't have to go ahead and do anything with the HTML or anything like that. You just have an app, and it'll show that you use cookies. So it'll let everybody in the EU know that you're compliant with the GDPR and that you do use cookies. And this will also go ahead and give those customers a sense of relief, because in the EU, this has actually been a pretty big topic. That's why this is coming about. And so this will give a lot of customers actually a sense of relief and may lead to some sales. So definitely get this app or do something similar that goes ahead and lets customers know that you do use cookies on your site. All right, so another set of good news is that the GDPR regulators have said that they're going to work with store owners. So, I know that this can be a lot. It's kind of confusing information. I'm still working through everything, but what they've said is if it looks like you've gone ahead and you've tried to become GDPR compliant, it looks like you've actually gone through, taken some actions to become GDPR compliant. If in any way you aren't fully compliant, they said that they will work with you because they know that this is somewhat confusing. So don't be afraid, if you're not fully compliant because you missed something, that you're going to go to jail. It's not going to be like that, but you do need to go ahead and do your best to become fully GDPR compliant. So I suggest going ahead and doing some reading on your own. Read what the full GDPR means for Shopify owners. Like I said, the good news is that Shopify is making sure that the platform as a whole is GDPR compliant, and now they've got a lot of great articles on the topic. But I want to close with saying that you guys still need to sell to European countries. I would say at least half of my orders come from Europe. If I was to just go ahead and be like, the GDPR is screwing me over, this is too hard, I would lose out on so much money. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking appropriate action to make sure that my stores are GDPR compliant. If you guys go ahead and do this, you guys will be fine. There's no need to be scared, but you do need to go ahead and take action with this and go ahead and make sure you do this for your store. If you do this, then you guys will be okay. But I hope you found insane value in this video. If you did, please leave me a like. If you haven't already, please smash that subscribe button. I continue to over-deliver insane value to you guys every day to grow you personally and financially as well. Leave down in the comments, if you're taking any actions that I didn't mention to be GDPR compliant. I'd love to go ahead and chat with you guys. If you've got any other questions about it, I'll go ahead and answer to the best of my ability. But keep grinding, y'all, and I'll see you in the next video.